Low Carb Tipid Trip Tips. We are now live here in Bali, Indonesia with, of course, my one true love. So, yung pag-uusapan natin today for our LCF Lifestyle Talk, dahil Sabado ngayon, we will talk about Save Up Saturday with yours truly, Dr. Josephine Grace Rohotan, also known as your Diet Doctora. And since this is LCF Talk, low carb and fasting, related pa rin sa low carb and fasting and pagtitipid because it's Save Up Saturday. But this time, related to travels and trips. So this is low carb trip with One True Love. Ano-ano yung mga iba't ibang tips natin para makatipid while at the same time, priority natin is to still stick to low carb. Kapag nagbabakasyon tayo, sometimes we make that as an excuse parang for us to cheat na bakasyon naman. And especially, marami sa inyo yung probably umuwi ng probinsya or gonna spend a long weekend because it's undas. And you might say na it's just once a year and you might want to go into high carb binging spree. But if you can't, if you can still avoid that one, just you do. Kasi sayang yung progress nyo the whole time this year na mawawala lang yung momentum ninyo just because of few days na bakasyon. And there is a way for us to stick into still low carb when it comes to vacation, when it comes to spending the holidays, and the many aspects of low carb consumption. So first, drinks. So ano yung drinks? As you can see there, you can save by making sure that you have these low carb drinks in handy. So as a rule for us, we always bring our reusable tumblers. So we have two, yung isa na iwan sa room. And with this one, like in airport, marami lang free na water refilling stations. And in the hotels, usually meron yung libreng water or dispensers that you can have. So you can actually make sure na sa water pa lang, you can save up, especially when traveling. When you're traveling in other countries, yung tubig nila is potable. Marami yung potable water. So actually, hindi mo kailangan bumili ng mineral water because it's going to be costly. And you can save money and also help in saving the environment by not using those reusable
In other
containers.
countries, wala nang mga,
Di ba not?
you
Oh,
need to bring your own.
yeah, it's becoming a norm na. And there are also, even in other countries, like at least in the Philippines, kahit pa hindi totally banned yung mga bottles, yung mga disposable plastic containers, at least merong mga certain establishments, resorts, especially those na mga vacation places, na bawal na talaga yung paggamit ng mga single-use plastic. So, that's why it's good to have any water bottle. And since we love and also hot drinks, so we usually use water bottles. So, sobrang dami ko ng insulated water bottles. And yeah, depende. Merong 2 liters, merong 1 liter, 750. And I also have the smallest one for handy lang. Just consider it as my glass. Parang baso lang siya. So that hindi rin siya ganun kabigat. So, pwedeng empty lang siya. And then anytime you need a drink, I started using that one when I started not depending so much on water and fluids. So I know if ever walang available water, okay lang. I know I will not dry up. Because with dry fasting, if we will be used to dry fasting minimum of 14 hours per day, you will not depend so much. But of course, you still listen to your body when it comes to thirst. So right now, I didn't bring because I know we will have in the hotel. Pero if it's like a homestay or vacation lang na you don't know if merong ipoprovide yung hotel, I usually just bring packets of coffee, instant coffee, or tea. And then kapag meron kang ganyan, as long as you can get water, and then you can put instant coffee there or tea, meron ka ng instant drink. And of course, when we eat in establishment, di ba, we try to ask if they have ice available. So if they have ice available, you can already have access to cold drink all day, especially here in Bali. It's not so hot, no? Mas mainit out sa Pilipinas. When they announced this morning when we arrived, it's 23 degrees Celsius. So it's quite bugnaw. It's quite not really hot because in the Philippines, I think we are on 29, 30 sometimes. And as you can see, the camera is just there. So you can see what's our view right now. So that's our view. And how can you save on your drinks? So we ordered this one just to see what it is. So it's 6 worth pesos in Philippine peso. And you can instantly create your own. If you will go to a supermarket nearby or any store, you can get all of these in hand. So this is infused water. Merong sili. I'm not sure if it's sili, the red one. Then peppermint, and then cucumber and lime. So these are low carb. And meron din siyang chia seeds. So can you see the chia seeds? So since I know may bagyo sa Pilipinas, Maming posted a photo na malakas na daw yung hangin in Bacolod. And it's very sunny. So whenever you feel thirsty, if gusto niyo magpalamig, you can make this. It's actually yummy. No? So peppermint, and it's peppermint leaves. So pwede magtanim. Meron na ata ngayon sa mga grocery store. You saw that? May mga grocery, sa grocery, meron mismo mga herbs na live herbs and spices. So you can plant this. So we used to have that in our kitchen before na anytime you need, you can just get there. So fresh, this one is fresh peppermint leaves. Mm. And slices of lime and cucumber. So it's very, very refreshing. The chili, yan, yung mga sili, hindi naman nila kinrush. So it's not spicy, but it looks good.
Noon yung infused water na iniinom ko, yung lemon lang.
Ah, yeah, the most
Lemon.
common for us is the lemon or cucumber infused water. It's really refreshing, especially if you combine them. The scent of cucumber, parang every time I drink that, I can feel that it's summer. Like I say a while ago na since it's summer, but it's not summer. But since nasa tropical country tayo, it's like summer all year round with chances of rain. So for our drinks, you can save and then you can stay low carb. Okay? If ever, sa mga nagsisimula pa lang, na they cannot really do away without sweets, without some
Soft drink.
sugar, some, yon yung matamis, then you can bring your own low carb sweetener. But of course, you know that low carb sweeteners are in our caution list. Okay? But for me also, when I'm on vacation, that's the most that I go to as parang cheat na
Ah,
talaga. Still low carb, but I just bring
that's as far
the,
as you
yeah,
cheat.
that's the farthest cheat that I can ever have, going into low carb na sweeteners. And I think what works for me is kapag nandyan siya, I don't feel like I need it. Yung sense of security. Because sometimes for me, if it's not available, that's all the more when I feel like I'm looking for it. That I am going to crave for it. But the moment it's there, I don't crave for it. Like the stevia packets that I have, parang ilang buwan na yan.
Oo nga.
Oh, di ba? And
Yung iba nagputas na nga eh.
oh, yeah. And I just carry them, but I don't use
Ano
them.
lang, security lang.
Oh, yung
Security
sense
blanket.
of, yeah, that sense of security na if ever I want, there is available. But since there is available, you are already feeling secure and you no longer need to
Kaya nga
really
napapansin
taste
ko,
it.
may mga butas na yung iba.
Yeah.
Nahulog yung mga fragments.
Oh, nabubutas na lang. There's even one that I put na lang in the kitchen para magamit like in cooking, at least kakaunti. Kasi sayang na nabubutas na lang because I change bags. So, nata-transfer lang siya. And I'm not using it. So, those are just the sense of security. So, that's for our drink. So, the someone is asking what time na dito? What time na diri? It's the same time here in the Philippines. So, same time
Bali.
lang
Bali is the
yung
same.
Bali. But I think
Jakarta,
Jakarta is 1 hour delayed.
delay.
1 hour delayed. But since Bali is closer to the Philippines, so same time lang. So, anong oras na ngayon? It's 12 noon. So, 12 noon din dito. And good thing the hotel that we booked, they since the room is vacant, they allowed us early check-in. So we arrived around 9 a.m. and we were able to book. We were able to go inside our room na, and this area is their restaurant na soft opening pa lang. So wala silang food. And speaking of food, we will proceed with our next low carb tipid travel tips. Okay? So, after drinks, snacks, especially sa mga nanay, tatay, mga uncles, and aunties natin na hindi pa sanay mag full low carb nang walang mga in-betweens. And like my sister, she is so fun that the moment she is on traveling mode, automatic yan. Ano ang ngunguyain ko the whole travel time. And us also, it's like vacation is synonymous to food trip. So that's why it's low carb food trip. And parang masaya lang na meron kang kinakain. Like, because it's cultural when it comes to us Filipinos to savor and enjoy times, special times with food. So when it comes to snacks, especially sa mga lugar na ganito, especially, I think it's around the world siguro, no? The easiest snacks are usually the carbs, the bread. And if you are not prepared, and kapag bigla ka nagutom kasi nagsisimula ka pa lang, you might not have the willpower to say no. Especially you're on a free day. Yung feeling mo, yung vacation mode ka, na parang okay lang ang mag-cheat. So, in order to avoid that, it's good if you will plan. If you will plan what you will have. And for me, what's my go-to is nuts. So eto, we passed by one store here. So it's just almond nuts and then it's just plain salted almonds. So salted almonds lang siya, dry roasted almonds. So when it's dry roasted, walang oil. So at least you can be sure na walang vegetable oil and then it's just salt there. So you are already covered with your need for electrolytes. Other nuts na low carb is even if peanuts yung nasa emoji natin, but peanut is in our caution list. Okay? Yung caution list natin, yung hindi siya pang unlimited. Dapat, when we take it, we have to be cautious kasi it can be inflammatory kahit pa low carb siya. Okay? And kahit pa low carb siya, but since peanut is very easy to eat continuously, especially sa mga hindi aware, yung papak lang ng papak, you can easily eat more than what you are supposed to. So when it comes to nuts, yung mga low carb nuts would be almond, macadamia, pecan, walnut. Sila yung mga basic. Pili nuts is also low carb. High carbs, pistachio, kasoy, yon. Sila yung mga high carb. Hindi naman high carb, moderate. So if you as long as you can minimize your intake with them, okay lang din. So, my nuts are my easiest go-to na pang snacking if ever I'll decide on snacking. And we decide, di ba, this trip na we will not really be very strict with our 16-hour, 18-hour fast.
The circadian fast.
At least circadian and not so late also. But before, at least we try to delay our breakfast and then move our dinner late. But with this 3 days lang naman kami magbabakasyon. And we will go back to our circadian na fasting wherein we try to extend our daily fasting more than our eating window. But this time, because our rooms that we have, merong mga free breakfast. And we also enjoy eating in the airport, in new
New
places.
places.
So
Walang new experience kasi.
yeah, it's experience and it's also nice to see how you will do when it comes to traveling and still sticking to low carb. So that's for our snacks. Kayo, anong paborito nyong mga low carb snacks? Okay? If you've been traveling, if you have your own tipid tips, you can share them in the comments para makita rin ng iba. And yes, macadamia is very expensive. That's why hindi niyo ako masyado nakikitang kumakain ng macadamia. Kasi sobrang mahal talaga. And but they said in other countries it's not so expensive. That's why hanggang almonds lang ako and pecan and walnut. What I realized with walnut, it's yummier raw. Kapag naluto na siya, parang hindi na, parang meron siyang parang malansa. I think the oil, because walnut and most nuts are very high in oil, in fats, but they're good fats. And yung walnut, I think something happens to it chemically when it's being heated na hindi na parang nagiging malangis yung amoy niya. Yummier when cooked. It smells even better. It tastes even better. But and pecan, somewhat the same. Whether raw or cooked, pareho lang. So, yon ang ating mga snacks. Dilis. Yeah, very good. Yeah, dilis also. Although, marami sa mga dilis, yung mga maliliit na dried fish, marami sa mga ganyan, meron silang parang coating to make it crispy. But if you can find yung salted lang talaga, plain, then that will be. So, Uy, hindi yun legit yung mga super fruits, hindi ko binebenta yun, 'di ba? Okay, for those of you is better. Walnut is better, not too expensive. Yeah. And pecan also, I buy in the big stores. 1 kilo, nasa mga 1,000. And usually, I finish that mga in 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. Kasi konti-konti lang naman yung kinakain mo. And kung kailan lang. For those who are asking sa ating masterclass, just send a message to our admins po para matulungan kayo. And yung mga super nuts, be careful, huwag kayong bumili nun because those are high carbs. Puro ata kasoy and mani yung nandun and marami pang raisins. So raisins is very, very high carb. Yung ginagamit nilang video is the one that I have before, but I'm eating the nuts that I made on my own. No? So mix plain lang yon na pinaghalo ko lang. Okay? So you can make that also to make it cheaper because we are looking into Save Up Saturday. Because if you buy na the ones in the menu, it's really could be expensive. So for example, with this one, tingnan natin yung menu nila. They have croissant. So this croissant is 200 pesos o 200 pesos isang croissant lang, isang bread lang. That's already very expensive. And hindi ka pa mabubusog. After 2 hours, gutom ka na naman ulit. So, as much as possible, you bring your own. Like dito, merong bagel with banana, fresh coconut, and peanut butter. So, that's already very high carb. And it's also already like 400 pesos na. So those things you can do away if you plan your snacks. Okay? So eto, pinakita ko lang, binili ko lang, but hindi pa siya nabubuksan. So, pang ano lang, pang security blanket na naman. Okay? So next would be our main meal. So ano yung main meal ninyo? You can save by, of course, making sure na you will stick to low carb. And the cheapest, I think, would be eggs. So, kung merong eggs kayong madadala, especially if it's just local trip, so I think marami na yan. Parang SOP na sa mga low carbers natin to bring hard-boiled eggs. I think sila Mandrew, nagdadala pa nga sila ng raw eggs. So, even raw eggs, ilang trays ata dinala nila last time. So, eggs are very easy. And if you are going to a vacation place na merong kitchen na you can cook, you can just buy instantly. You can save like one meal, usually nasa 350 pesos, 500. But if you buy raw meat, that's already 1 kilo. And then you are sure that it's safe pa. In this place, our friend recommended this place. So she knows na medyo mahirap yung pagkain dito. And there's 250 steps daw going down here. Kasi this one is the beachfront. And yung main road is 250 steps pa from here. So medyo nakakapagod. So she advised to bring whatever food you can bring na pwedeng kainin para hindi na kailangan lumabas pa. And we don't know if there's a nearby na convenience store. So, titiningnan ko lang whatever is there. So, wala talaga. Walang masyado. Kahit yung mga very meaty canned goods, wala. Yung yan. So, wait. Nawala yung internet and ilalagay natin ulit yung ating yung camera on the other. Yan. So, nasa na tayo? On our main meal. So, main meal, eggs would be, yan, and then camera. Set up muna natin yung other side. Yan. Yan, it's two. So, yan, on the other side. Ibang view na naman.
Yung mga nagsisurf.
Yeah. So, what we did now, bumili lang kami ng kung ano lang makita namin na at least somewhat low carb. And it's in our caution list, but yun na yung pinaka low carb doon. So, wala ngang food dito. So, meron lang frozen siomai. And then, frozen siomai, and there's also sausages. So, yun na lang yung pinaluto namin dito. And it's good na pumayag naman sila. And when you eat siomai, of course, ano yung ginagawa natin? Para at least to lessen the carbs in it, we remove the wrapper. Kasi per wrapper, it's at least 5 to 10. 5 to 10 na grams of net carb. So, if you will eat siomai na nasa 5 to 10 pieces din, tapos na yung 50-gram budget mo in a day. So, yan. Usually, when we eat siomai, kinukuha namin yung wrapper. So, yan yung wrapper for at least to minimize the carbs in it. Okay? And good thing, there's siomai, parang real meat naman. Makikita mo yung mga meat fibers and also the taba. So, yan. It's good. You can sense that it's really pork. This is already in our caution list. Okay? But, it's cheaper as compared for you to order food directly. And then, if only there's fresh na meat there and eggs, yun sana yung bibilin ko din. Kaya lang wala. So, we will just adjust with whatever is there. And that is also the beauty of doing low carb and fasting at the same time. Kasi, in times like this, na wala kang masyadong option, masarap, no? Wala kang masyadong option, at least you are sure na makukonsume pa rin whatever na mga chemicals mga preservatives that we try to avoid the whole year. And yun nga, sabi ni Coach Ollie, to be so strict, especially when you're in vacation and loved ones and enjoying the time, and you will just think about low carb lang, and yeah, that's a very beginner move. But we appreciate, especially you na beginners who are really sticking to it. I just came back from Bacolod, pumunta kami doon. I had my operation, and nakita ko doon yung mga nurses that I used to work with every day before. Ay, hindi ko na sila nakilala. Ang papayat na. And then they said they were doing low carb. And they're so proud na during the first 2 months daw, they were really very strict with the safe list. And that's what made them very successful.
It's a jump start.
Like a jump start. Because like now, even if from time to time, nakakakain na sila ng nasa caution list, but they now know how the difference talaga. They can always have that reference na sobrang iba yung pakiramdam when they are in our safe list, when they stick to the safe list. And I think that is good na simula para you can always have that reference. Na kahit pa there are days like this na we don't get to be very strict with sticking to the safe list, but you can always go back. And of course, that's why yung pinaka-cheat na is on caution list na low carb. Just compensate it later on the moment that you are back. So, yan. Maraming nakikita nyo ba? Maraming nagsusurf sa banda on the side. Kaya lang mainit pa. And I think I'm just na-enjoy ko lang ngayon yung view lang dito. And the temperature is also perfect. No, sobrang perfect. Yeah, and of course, lastly, since vacation is about enjoyment and our complete meal can end with something sweet, but we are low carb, so you can already prepare your desserts na low carb din. Sobrang hirap pa ngayon makahanap ng low carb desserts. Okay? Because hindi pa siya ganun ka widely available. So before, what I do is bumibili ako ng mga dark chocolates to bring para at least meron lang. At least 80%. 80-85%. Para
70, hindi na yan.
If it's 70%, you should choose the one na mga yung kanilang sweetener na ginagamit would be low carb. Pero yung 85%, kahit pa sugar yung ginagamit nila, but because of the concentration, proportion of the cocoa, it's still gonna be low carb. Nasa 5 grams per 100 grams lang. So, kung mauubos mo yung isang bar of chocolate na yun, 100 grams, it's just 5 grams of net carbs. And seldom you can eat that in one sitting. Kasi like for me, ako na yung isa sa mga pinakamalakas kumain na kilala ko. And I still cannot finish the whole bar in one sitting. At least 2 sittings siguro. 2 sittings. Or more. So, you can have dark chocolates as desserts. But for us, before we went here, naka-order kami ng low-carb goodies. So, I don't usually eat this on a regular basis. But for vacation, we brought low-carb brownies. And meron din dito, ano pa? Let's see. So, this one. It's low-carb cookies. So, eto, low-carb cookies na individually packed. So, para meron lang. And last time, we also brought in koana in Batanes. And it's so good na I felt like we were not enslaved and addicted to desserts because naubos natin siya. Hindi nga natin naubos in the whole 10 days, 2 weeks, in the whole 2 weeks that we were there. Sa last day na yun, parang pinilit na lang namin ubusin para hindi na namin madala pabalik. But it's just good to have that in handy, yung sense of security na meron ka lang makukuha in case. Kasi naman, especially if you gonna travel with other family members na hindi naka-low carb and they are enjoying all of those foods, especially for us, sometimes we go on vacation na merong occasion like birthdays, anniversaries, and all that. And we might not be able to say no if ever. Especially na mga maraming iba na nadadala pa ng peer pressure. So if you think you can be one of those, you can try to limit exposures sa ganong mga unnecessary temptations by securing your own low carb dessert. Okay? And when you buy it or you bring it from home, instantly you are going to save na. So, yun yung mga usual tipid tips natin, tipid trip tips in low carb, and that's what we did with One True Love. And nandito tayo ngayon again in Bali, Indonesia. It's our first time here, both of us. So, first time namin ngayon dito, beach-wise, parang Pilipinas lang din. Yung pagkakaiba would be, of course, yung crew and staff. And mostly, marami dito mga tourists. So, wala pa akong nakitang Filipino or Filipino looking
Or Asian.
or Asian, mostly Caucasians
Caucasians.
na dito. And they are surfing. So, it's a surf spot. And I think we will also swim later. So, yan ang ating mga low-carb speed trips when it comes to our drinks, to snacks, to our main meal, and dessert. So, I hope you learned something today. Maraming salamat po. Oo, Bali. Bali is nice. Sobrang quick trip lang to. And parang ano lang,
Spur.
Bali,
Spur of the moment.
spur of the moment. Kailan natin to na-book? Parang nung nakaraan lang,
Yung
ha?
Sundays na 3 weeks ago siguro.
Ah, talaga?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Ah, talaga? Yun lang yan. And then,
Kumakain
ano
tayo
na?
nun eh. Tapos, tara.
Oo. So it's our first out of the country travel together. Love. Although we've been planning on traveling together as friends pa before. But hindi talaga natuloy, no? Meron na ilang trips na rin yun that we really intended to do. But it's not meant to be because we are meant to travel together as one true love. And I hope you are enjoying your time there as well. And savor the time with family and friends this undas. And
Long
to
weekend.
long weekend na with one day absent. Because
Kasi yung iba,
Monday, talaga?
Nakatulad sana, yung sa lab natin. Pina-off ni Jenny yung para straight talaga. Kasi,
Oo.
iba
Para
naman pag may break tapos
ma-enjoy.
babalik pa.
Kaya pala. So it depends on companies. Pero like, officially, hindi holiday yung Monday.
Ah,
But I think it's worth it. It's worth to be absent.
yes.
It's very, sorry, nag-encourage pa talaga, no? It's worth it. Minsan lang magkaroon ng ganun long weekend, okay? Just be honest about it. Huwag lang yung bigla kang magkakasakit, kunwari, on Monday. Just file a vacation leave and savor it and enjoy the time na wala kang isiping.
Unwind.
We need to unwind. Although it's going to still be a working vacation for us, but it's a work with a view. So that's our view, the one that you can see on the other side of the screen. And maraming salamat everybody. I hope to see you sa ating second part of National Low Carb Day 2022 this coming December. Paskong NLCD 2022. Yes, TMAD is the way to go pa rin. So, parang nag-TMAD na rin kami. Kasi wala naman breakfast kanina. So, ngayon lang. Ito na yung main meal namin. And not sure for later. Depende lang. Malalaman pa natin yan later. But no pressure on the food. Merong malaking log ng wood. No? Sobrang laki. Nakakatakot naman kapag nakita natin sa kanila. Yung wood na yan. Yan. Isang puno talaga. Isang malaking puno. Hindi ko alam. So, hello! See you in Japan! Soon. Yes, Ma'am Lorena. Yan, si Ma'am Lorena. Yan, yung profile picture niya, yung kaming dalawa. Yung National Low Carb Day. Hello po! Maraming salamat everybody. Thank you so much. Bukas, Q&A in our low carb and fasting masterclass. So I hope to see you there. Hopefully, we will have a stable internet Sobrang ganda ng water. Oh, nadidistract ako. Sa ganda ng waves. Sobrang ganda talaga. Nag-brown out kanina kaya naputol yung connection ng internet. So we are on mobile data. So yan. Bring me those cookies. We will do our best to bring it's one of the best cookies na low carb na natikman ko. Of course, paminsan-minsan lang. Hope to meet you all. Hope to meet you all in person also. So, yan. Maraming salamat everybody. And of course, you can also support the partners that are supporting us in our advocacy, especially yung mga sumuporta sa atin during the last National Low Carb Day earlier this month. So, see you again next time, guys. Maraming salamat. Stay low carb, stay safe. Bye. Love, 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 love. Na.